Hello and welcome to this special show of Agenda coming to you from Hyderabad. Over the last 3 weeks, Hyderabad has been in the news for all the wrong reasons, talking about the drug network investigation by Telangana's Excise Department. First, they spoke about hundreds of students being perhaps on the call data list of suspected drug peddlers. About 13 of them were arrested, and then they turned their attention in fact to the Telugu film industry, saying that many of them in fact are suspected to be drug users, or they were either consuming drugs or they were even peddling drugs. That's the suspicion, and in fact at least 12 of them were sent notices. They were summoned to Telangana's Excise Department to appear before the special investigation team there. I have with me representatives from the film industry, I have parents with me, we also have activists who are working with children, with people who have to deal with these issues, reaching out to schools, also school students who have in fact been through special sessions. Going to go to Suresh Babu first. We spoke to you earlier and you said this is a very good move. Right now, there's a lot of talk about the kind of investigation that's happening. Is that leading to intimidation, coercion? And are you happy with the way it's progressing? One of the actresses, Charmi, went to court and in fact said her blood samples shouldn't be collected.
See, last time when we met, the intent was good. We as people in Hyderabad, we want a clean city, a safe city. We want our children to be safe, the whole town to be safe. We want the culprits to be caught. We did not expect this media circus that is going on for 10 hours, 11 hours, grilling people, putting doubts on people. That is...
That's what the investigation is doing, not the media really.
No, in the sense, but why are informations getting leaked out of the places? Why is this whole hallagula going on when the real problem is, are we getting to the culprits or not? Once we get there, then the problem is going to be solved. If you're not going to do that, and if you're constantly making it more a throw names at people kind of attitude, the whole thing is going to be divided into, is this only for the film industry? Why are they not doing it in the other industries? Why are they not doing it for schools? Is the cinema a soft target? So all these doubts come into people's minds.
Are you beginning to think that cinema or film personalities are becoming soft targets? Because yes, there is a problem, is something that all of us acknowledge.
See, we have to pay a price for our so-called fame. When there is success or failure, we get more out of it. But I don't think it's fair that there should be a private investigation, and as a film industry person, we are willing to come out with anything that the government wants. We are willing to be in campaigns which say no drugs. We are willing to do whatever the government wants us to do in a legal, law-abiding manner. We don't want to be tarnished as if that we are the only culprits in this whole place and everybody else is Rama and we are the only Ravans that are around.
Kamal, you are an actor, yeah, and you are also concerned about the names that are coming out. Of course, people may say, yes, Tollywood has always been linked to drugs in some way or the other. Numbers is not that 50% of Tollywood is taking drugs and every other industry would be. But right now your concern, is this kind of an investigation going to lead to a cleanup?
My whole concern is it has to lead to a cleanup. No one will deny that. But my concern is that earlier there was some emotion. Earlier we all spoke about it. We all came out when we were talking about school children being involved into it, and schools were trying to we were trying to do some kind of a talk for that. Then came to now films. It's become a conspiracy theory or something where the film industry is trying too hard to protect themselves from this whole thing, and from the emotion that was for protecting our children and for the future, it suddenly became a reality TV. Now everyone's sitting in front of the TVs and now watching, okay, will that name come up now? Will this name come up now? And somehow I'm feeling very sad that it's becoming kind of an entertainment. I'm very sorry to say that, but it's becoming an entertainment for everyone. It was not supposed to be that. We had to be concerned about certain things.
To that extent, I would say the investigation, many people did appreciate what Mr. Rakun Sabharwal, as the Excise Director, has been doing, that he has in fact protected the identity of youngsters, minors, and even consuming drugs, like Rahul would say. In fact, Rahul is someone who's dealing with, he's a counseling psychologist. You've been going around to schools now, reaching out to schools as well. have the schools been now proactive? Because the department, in fact, the excise department sent out in an unprecedented manner notices to 26 schools and 27 colleges.
Yes, we have been approached by many leading schools in town, and we have been sending teams there. We have finished with 3 or 4 schools, and tomorrow we are going to a college also. The response has been good. This was a long time coming because many things in schools are left unsaid till a crisis erupts. And drug addiction has always been there to a certain extent. Now, because of media exposure and because of some people getting caught, it's very good that it is coming out and people are talking about it and people are asking us to address it. Because otherwise it would have been just swept under the carpet.
Rajeshwari, you were mentioning to us that there is a huge attitudinal change, whether you are talking about society or access to the net. Is that making the big difference? All of us would agree that maybe when we were all in college, even then drugs were spoken about. What's the big difference now?
The big difference is the accessibility has improved, I would say, for them. The attitudinal shift. Drugs have always been part of the culture, and let's face it, alcohol is the oldest drug known to mankind. It's a chemical formula, so there's no escaping the fact that even alcohol is a drug. However, with all the new synthetic drugs coming in, and the most frightening thing which is happening is the kids getting exposed at an early age when even their brain is not completely formed, and getting exposed, their propensity for them to get addicted is huge, and they would know what's hit them till much later. And the worst thing is that we have ignored this for a considerable time, and we have been approaching the schools in the past, and we were always told that if you talk about it, then you're overexposing the children to ideas. So
you as a parent mentioned that your 11-year-old is asking you questions, but what did he ask, and why did you think it was a matter of concern? Isn't it the time to start a dialogue?
Yeah, so my son is 11-year-old, and he just popped up this question, Mama, what is drugs? So me and my husband both were sitting that time, and we were like, okay, now is the time to actually discuss and talk about it. So we had a good like 10-15 minutes of discussion how drugs impacts the brain and body, and how badly a person can become. So this is how the discussion went on. I don't
think
know.
It's a good thing.
It's
At
definitely.
a time when you're talking about
really the first thing for the parents, because see, the system will not change. This has been going on for centuries and for ages, and this will remain in the society. We as parents need to understand that first thing that we can do is to talk to our children and discuss with them openly.
You know, while the Telugu film industry is worried about the focus that's coming on, parents seem to think that, you know, the discussion actually has got diverted from where it started. We spoke about hundreds of students, and everyone who heard about this 8th class child who is perhaps going on the internet and indulging in very dangerous behavior in exchange for drugs. That was something very worrying. Are you suggesting in any way, any of the parents here, that the discussion has actually got deliberately diverted? Some of you who belong to the Hyderabad School Parents Association seem to suggest school lobby is very strong, but isn't the film lobby strong enough either?
We are very, very weak. Film lobby is a very weak lobby.
It's a glass house.
It's a glass house. Throw a brick at us, not even a brick, a small pebble, and we are all broken. We are not a very strong body, we don't fight for it. We are very independent people, creative, doing things in our own way.
But the discussion was something that was good to start, because it's something
and everybody agreed, the industry is willing to take part in any rally. Schools have been asking us to come, people are willing to go, we are willing to give statements, we are willing to do all that. But we don't want to be targeted as if we are the only culprits or criminals in this town.
Do you tend to think that you know, the discussion has got diverted from schools?
Yes, obviously, as of today, it looks like that only. Like earlier, it's the main. It should be targeted on students. Actually, it's a very delicate issue. We need to protect our children. It's a very important. As well as a society person, we should protect our industry also. They are also our own people.
I believe that the
does it
has sensationalized actually by diverting the issue to the schools. The whole issue has become so sensational. Whereas
Also
we
the fact that-
wanted to make children to be aware of the repercussions of drugs, how it can impact, how badly it can impact their life or ruin their lives. The whole, this is completely diverted. I don't understand.
Do you tend to think that the issue has actually got diverted? This is also something that we need to address. I mean, that Telugu film personality.
Very important. I think when the schools were being spoken about, it was good augury because there was acknowledgement of something that all of us knew was happening. A. Two, it also showed gaps in awareness that the school system, that the schools, parents were doing nothing about educating the children. Three, lack of support services for parents and the children who have actually taken it was actually zero. Very, very, very minimal. And I think these are important things and we haven't addressed it, and now we are all very busy sitting on our couches trying to see what's going to happen next, and there's nothing. So parents are left high and dry, children are wondering what it's all about.
That's because there are no therapy centers for children?
There are no therapy centers and there's no, government cannot say, okay, now you all organize awareness programs. Awareness programs is not set of 1, 2, 3 messages. Awareness program is about education. Educating our children about the whole issue of abuse. Substance abuse is a large issue. You can't just say 2, 3 slogans, say no to drugs, and now children are going to say no to drugs. That's whimsical to think about it. And I think we need to actually take stock of the situation. And I do not see the stock taking exercise by the education department, which is very worrisome. I appreciate the enforcement department cracking the whip, but beyond that, education department, the other stakeholders have to rise up. They cannot expect excise department to start doing sensitization and education programs. I think that is where we have lost the plot.